Hi, I'm George, and I'll be showing you how to make custom swords like I have right over here inside of Java Edition. And these are pretty easy to make. Just toss them all down here so you can see these things. There we go. Now there are a few tricks to this, so I'll cover all the little problems you may come into, but again, it's a pretty easy process to do. Okay, let's go ahead and get to this, but first, before I forget, make sure you hit that like button, click on share, click on subscribe. That really helps me keep my channel going to make more videos like this for you. Okay, the first thing we need to do is to get the original images and get the original resource pack, and then we'll build these by modifying those original sword images. So let's switch over to the desktop and get to work on that. There we are. You'll first need to have a new folder on your hard drive someplace. It doesn't matter where. I made a new folder that I called swords. Just make sure you make a new folder to do this inside of a working folder. Okay, then open up another file window. There's an Explorer window right here. And then up here, type in %appdata%. There we go. And go into Minecraft. And then come down here. You want to find versions. And it's right there. Open this one up. And then find your version of Minecraft. And right now I'm playing 1.16.5. It's right there. What I'll be showing you here will actually work in other versions as well, but make sure you start in your version of Minecraft. Okay, open this one up. You should see two files in here. One should say .jar and one should say .json, and the number should be your version. If you're not seeing the extensions in there, .jar and .json, then go up here to View and make sure you put a check mark right there where it says File Name Extensions. You'll then see that. Okay, take the .jar and then holding down the right mouse button, drag that over here and choose Copy here. We're just making a copy of that. Leave the original in here. You don't want to move that. Okay, let's just get this window out of the way. There we go. Now this is just a zip file actually, so if you click on it twice kind of slowly, you can then type in and rename this zip. If you get this warning, just choose yes. There we go. It's now a zip file. We can now open this. So I'm going to right click and open in new window right there. So I have a new window here with everything that's inside of that file. There we go. And what I want to do in here is find the location for those sword images. It'll be in Assets, and then in Minecraft, and then down to Textures down here. Go in there, and then come down where it says Item, and it's right here. And they're all inside here. Now there's a lot of images, and let me change my view here just to large icons. So a lot of images, as you can see. These swords are named with the material first. So if I scroll down, and let's take a look for the iron sword. That's a pretty easy one to find. So find the eyes. Here's your shovel. There's your iron sword right there. I'm just going to right drag that over here and copy. Now there are a few of these swords in here. There's iron. There is a diamond sword, of course. Let's go ahead. We'll find that one. There's our diamonds. There's a sword. I'll right drag that one over. We have a stone sword, of course. And there's a netherite sword. Let's see if we can find our netherite sword in here. There's a netherite sword. I'll just right drag that and copy. And we have that stone sword. See if we can find that one. Okay, pickaxe, shovel sword. There we go. There's that one. Bring that one in here. There's the wood sword, of course. That's down here in the W's. Wooden sword right there. Copy that one. And there's also a gold sword. See if we can find that gold sword in here someplace. So there's the F's, G's, golden axe, golden boots, and it's right down here. There it is, golden sword right there. Okay, those are your 6 different swords. You can change any or all of these. You can't add any more than this, but you can change the looks of these swords. We'll just do just one, but you do have 6 you can work with. And there are 2 more things we need out of this zip file here. Let's go back. I'm just going to back up here just a few steps. Assets, there's the zip file right here. Now at this location here, this is just when you first open it up, scroll way down, almost down to the bottom, down here just a little bit. There's our O's, and then here we go. You want these 2 files here as well. So I'll just select both of those and then right drag those over and copy those over as well. Okay, so that's all the files that we need to do this. We now need to set up some folders to actually build our resource pack. So I'll make a new folder here, and let's call this one Assets. There we go. And we'll be mimicking or copying the location of these swords over here inside of the zip file. This is the standard resource pack. Let's open up Textures and open up Item. So we need to copy this line right up here. So if I put my window right there so we can easily see that. There we go. So inside of assets, and make a new folder here for Minecraft. There we go. Inside of that one, make a new folder for textures. There we go. Inside of that, make a new folder for item. There we go. And inside here is where we'll be making our swords. So let's go back here to our swords. And let's just take all these. I'm going to hold my control key down and select just those swords like that. And then let's just right click and cut. And I'll go inside of our folders in here, new item folder, and then right click and paste. And there we go. They're all now inside of that one folder. Okay, let's change our view again to large icons. There we go. So we have all of our swords now in the right location. So this will be our beginning resource pack. We'll be using this file, this one, and this one. Now you don't have to do anything with these if you don't want to. They're fine as is right now. If you want to change the icon, this only shows up in the list of resource packs in the game. If you want to change that, the default here is a 128 by 128 PNG file. I happen to like using 256 by 256. It's just a square image. It's a very small square image. Inside the pack.mc meta, you can put the title if you want to for your resource pack in here. It's not required. If you want to do it, you can. Now I have mine set to open up inside of Notepad, so right click. If you don't have that set up, click here where it says open with. If you don't see Notepad here, choose default program. And then in here, if you don't see Notepad on this list, click on more options and you will see it in your list down here someplace. Now mine's already set, so I'll just open that up. And in here, you can ignore the pack format. That's correct right now for 1.16.5, but you can change the description right in here if you want to. I'll just call mine swords like that, and then save. There we go. Okay, that's all done. So we're all set now to make the resource pack. Now, we need to take our sword and put it inside of a program to edit the sword. And I'll start with the iron sword right here. We'll do this one. Now, I like to edit this inside of Paint.net. It's my personal favorite free graphics program. Paint.net is great. I'll put a link for that on the screen right there. And I'll also put a link for that in the description. Just click on that and you can download that free program. Okay, I'll go ahead and I'll bring that up. And here we go. We're inside of Paint.net. Let's now bring back up that folder. We can just drag and drop the image right into Paint.net from the folder. There we go. I'll just drag it in like that. And let's open the image. Now, these are real small, as you can see, so just grab your magnifying glass and zoom it up a little bit. I won't go too far. You'll go about this far because the first thing I want to do is to increase the resolution of this. I'm going to up-res this instead of 16 by 16, which is what this is. I'm going to up-res this to 64 by 64 so you can put in a lot more detail. I mean, this is really, really low detail. I want to have better detail in here. Okay, so we have that. Go up to Image, come down to Resize, and in here, on resampling, make sure this is set to nearest neighbor. That will keep the hard edges. And then we'll change our pixel size down here, 64 by 64. You should see those matching if you have maintain aspect ratio here checked. That's fine. Okay, that's all good. Choose OK. And there we go. And let's just get this thing centered a bit better here. I'll just grab my slider controls. There we go. Now if I zoom in just a bit more, that's about as big as I think I can get here on the screen. Nope, there we go. That's pretty good. All right, now, if you're going to be using this, just use this as a template. Don't erase this. That's going to cause you all kinds of problems. So just leave that alone. Go over here and make a new layer. New layer button is right there. Make a new layer above that layer, and then just use this as a guide. And then you can just draw in whatever you want. I'm going to do something really simple here. We'll just make the detail look a bit better on this sword. But if you're going to be doing your own sword, the first thing I like to do is go over here, take my colors, and I'll reverse these so white is in the foreground. And then take your pencil here because you want to have this just giving you squares like that. But what I like to do is to go through and put a line right through the middle. That gives me a reference point. If it does that, that happens sometimes here. Just use Control Z to undo that. If you're not right in the middle of the square, you may get 3 squares instead of just that 1 square. So I'll go through and I'll make a line right down the middle. And then if I match the one side to the other side, this makes it real easy to see what I'm doing. There's nothing in there, and I'll finish it up here. There we go, and take it down. Now, one kind of a funny thing in here about the way these swords are set up inside of Minecraft, and that's the orientation. If you have a definite blade edge on your sword, this sword, the blade edge is on both sides, left and right. But if you have a definite blade edge and a back edge, you want to have your blade edge on the top side and the back edge on the bottom side. Very important. That way the blade edge is going to be facing down when it's in your hand inside of the game. Okay, now to make this more detailed, it's real easy to do. All I have to do is come in and grab some of these colors in here. I'll use the eyedropper tool right here and then come down to our background layer and I'll grab that gray color. There it is. Make sure you go back to your layer 2. This is your working layer. And then back to our pencil. And I can now come through here and begin to work a bit on these edges and smooth the edges down. And it's just, filling the edges in so we can get a smoother edge in here. This is best done if you take your time and paint these things in one square at a time like this. That way you won't have anything messed up. This just smooths that edge out. Now if I take off these top ones up here, you can erase those out, or you can just add in some more right down here. And this will make for a much smoother edge on this one side. You see, there we go. It's beginning to look pretty good already. And just painting this in like that. Okay, that's the basic idea, really, is just to come in and make any changes you want like this and just paint these things in. Let's just do a little bit over here. And I'll add some fun little detail onto this thing. And we'll see how this looks. That's pretty good. I want to match the color down here, so let's go back to our background color. And let's grab our eyedropper tool again here, and we'll click from our darks. There we go. Set that color in, back to our main layer. And do that same kind of a deal down over here. Just kind of matching that detail. Now to do the really nice swords, it can take you a long time. I spent about an hour for each one of those swords I showed in the beginning of the video, so it's not a fast process, but it's not a difficult process either. Let's just make kind of a random edge in here with low spikes and high spikes. There we go. Kind of a sawtooth edge on that one. And I'll smooth the handle out a little bit in here as well. Maybe like that. And that's looking pretty good. Okay, so you can see how we just come in and repaint your sword any way you want. You can do anything that's inside of this square area. You can't make your sword longer. If you want a longer looking sword, you make it thinner. Want a fatter sword, you just make it fatter. But it has to stay inside of this square. Even though I've up-resed this, the sword is going to be the exact same size inside of the game. That's just the way that works. It's going to shrink that down to fit, so I'll have higher detail, but it's going to be the same sized sword. Okay, I'm just going to pause the video for a few minutes here and paint in a few more of these things. Exact same technique. I'll just put in a bit more detail in here, and I'll bring the video back up as soon as I have this smoothed out just a little bit more. Okay, I'll spend just a few minutes adding in a few more things here, making the sword look a little bit more interesting. So there's the original sword, and there's our new change sword right there. If you want to have something in here where the back sword isn't showing you want it skinnier or something, simply hide that layer and only show your foreground layer in here. You'll need to fill in everything else. I've just been adding stuff onto that. But you can make a new layer, and your new sword is totally on your new layer. You can then make it anything that you want. It's really up to you how you want to do this. You also can use transparency if you want to. We saw that on the lightsaber. Just be real careful about that. Be real even on your transparency, or it may get some weird effects in there. So just be real careful on that. Okay, so here's our basic sword look. Nice change from the original. We need to now save this. I'm going to save this twice. Go up here to File. I'll just click on the Save button. And it should be in the same folder that you opened it up from. And there's our Swords, Assets, Minecraft, Textures item right here. Now I'm going to be saving it as a paint.net file first, PDN file first. Choose Save. That just saves my layers in here. If I want to come back and work on this some more in the future, which I probably will do, then I can easily do that from this paint.net file. Now to use it in the game, we need to have this as a PNG file. So for that, go up here to File, come down to Save As, and then let's just change this here to PNG, which is right there. And in the Iron Sword, right here, choose Save, and choose Yes to overwrite that, and then just choose OK. And where it says Flatten, click on that. Okay, this has now been saved as that new PNG file. You can see our new sword right up there, looking pretty good at that size. Okay, that's everything that we need to do here inside of paint.net. Let me just get rid of this. There we go. And there's the new sword right there. Notice that it is a lot bigger. We made it 4 times as large to get in more detail. It'll be the same size in the game, but we have more detail now in our new sword. Okay, now let's just back up here, back to our swords folder right there. So we have our assets, we have our pack MC meta done already. I'll leave that icon, that's just fine. So I'll hold the control key down, select those files, and then inside of Windows, let's go up here to share and click on zip. Then let's give this one a name. I'll call this one Swords New since it's my new one here. There we go, Swords New, all set to go. And now we can get this into the game. For that, I need to bring up another File Explorer window. There we go. Back up here, %appdata%. And enter. And then into Minecraft. And then in here, come down to Resource Packs. And it's right there. Go into Resource Packs. And then simply take your new file we did right there, Swords New, and just drag it over into here. And there we go. That's all set to go. Okay, we can now go into the game and then activate this resource pack and let's see how this new sword looks. All right, I'll relaunch the game right here. I'm just going to skip forward past all this launching stuff and get right into the game, and then we'll change over that resource pack from inside the game. Okay, back in the game, let's just pick these things up. There we go. And let's come out of here, escape key, hit options and resource packs. I'm just going to remove that resource pack there. That's my first swords one. Let's come down, let's find our new swords. There it is, Swords New. Bring that one in. There we go. Hit done. Let that reload that new resource pack. Click on done again. Back to game. And you can see there it is. I'm holding that sword right now. There's all the original swords right down here. And there's our new sword. Let's just switch our view around so you can see that. There we go. There's that nice new sword. There's the regular swords. And there's the one that we just made inside of paint.net. Hi, I'm George, and I'll be showing you how to make a giant sword. Here's a regular sword, and there's the giant sword. Okay, now this requires a bit of programming, so we're doing some basic programming here to get this giant sword look. So we'll be switching out to the desktop, and we'll start by making a new working folder to build your new sword resource pack in. Okay, here we are on the desktop, and I have a new folder I made. I called it Sword, and it's on my C drive right there. And in here I have two images. The first is my pack.png file. This is just a 256 by 256 PNG image. It's just a square image. The default is 128 by 128, and it's that kind of dirt block thing. I like my own, so I have that right here. The second one is my new image for the sword. Now I have a video all about how to make sword images, and I'll put a link for that in the description and also up there in the upper right hand corner so you can follow along and make your own sword there. You don't have to, but it's kind of fun to have your own sword. Okay, now we need to bring in another file in here. We need a pack.mc meta file, and we also need to set up our folders. Now the first folder you'll need is the assets folder. So go to new folder and then just call this one assets. There we go. Now for the rest, I'm going to bring in an example so you can see where these are. And for that, I'll bring up the Minecraft launcher. There we go. Now go up here where it says installations, click on that. And the top line here, that's the one you're currently playing. Go over here just to the right of play and click on that button right down there. It looks like a folder. Click on that and this opens up the Minecraft folder. Now inside here, scroll down until you see versions, and it's right there. Go inside versions and then find your version. I'm currently playing 1.16.5, so let's go down here, we'll find that one. There we go. Open that one up and you'll see two files, the jar file and the JSON file. If you don't see the jar and JSON, then go up here to view and put a check right here where you see file name extensions. You'll then see that .jar and .json. Okay, we want that .jar file. I'll bring back up our working folder. There it is. And I'll now just right drag this over here and make a copy of that just like that. There we go. Okay, we can close that down. All you have to do is just type in there and then backspace over the jar and change the name to zip, and it becomes a simple zip folder. Choose yes. There we go. Okay, now right click on this and choose open in new window. Now the first thing you want to do is to scroll down on this first page here, this first screen, go way down almost to the bottom, not quite, and it's right down here. There we go. You want the pack.mc meta. If you don't want to make your own pack PNG like I have here, you can go ahead and use this one. I'll just open this one up. You can see this. There it is. It's just that. That's all it is. It's just a square image. Now I don't need that. I have my own, but I do need this pack MC meta. So right drag that over here and choose copy. There we go. I now have that. That's all set to go. Now we need to make more folders inside the assets folder, and we're just going to copy the folders that are over here inside of this zip file. So let's scroll back to the top go into Assets, and the first one we see here is Minecraft. I'm going to put this up here just a little bit. I'm going to pull this down like this, and I'll put this here so you can kind of see that easily. There we go. So on a Minecraft folder, so go inside of Assets, make a new folder, and call it Minecraft. Make sure it's all lowercase. Go inside of Minecraft, and you want two folders here, Textures and Models. So let's go ahead and make those. So inside of Minecraft, let's go here to Home and New Folder, Textures, and then New Folder, Models. There we go. So it's Textures is right here and Models. Okay, inside of Textures, we'll go inside our zip file here. You want the one that says Item right there. So inside here, New Folder, Item, like that. It's back out of Textures, then into Models, and I'll back out of Textures here, and into Models right here. Same thing, Item, New Folder, Item. There we are, and then back out to Minecraft. Now inside of Textures again, back inside of Item, here's where you find your sword file. Now I'm using the one I've already made, but you can go ahead and use one here if you want to. I'll be using the golden sword, so I'll scroll down here to find the G's, and that's right down here, golden sword. Now I'm not going to be doing this one. Let's go ahead and I'll pull a different one though so you can see how this is done. I'll come down and find iron sword. That's right there. So over here, inside of Textures, inside of Item, and then I'm just going to right drag that over here and copy. Just like that. Okay. Let's back to the Minecraft folder up here in the zip file and go into the Models folder. Same thing over here. Let's back up to Minecraft, go into Models, into Item up here. And here you want to have the matching JSON file. We'll be doing the golden sword, so I'll scroll down till we find golden sword. And it's way down here, just a little bit further. And there we go. Same thing, right drag that over here and copy. There it is. And we need one more file, but first let's back up just a little bit here, back to where it says sword. We'll put it right here. Go back up here, and then scroll down just a little bit. You want one that says handheld, and it's right there. There it is. Same thing, right drag that in here and choose copy. We'll be using some of the code out of this in the sword JSON file. And let's go back to the golden sword JSON. That's Assets, Minecraft, Models, and there it is. Okay, we're now done with this folder. We can close that down. Now I need to have my sword in that item folder. I can do that very quickly here. I'll just take this and just drag it into Assets, go inside here, drag it into Minecraft, go inside here, drag it into Textures, go in there, drag it into Item, and there we go. There's my golden sword. Okay, that's all taken care of. Back here to Minecraft, making a giant sword, that gets into programming, and that's over here in the Models folder and Item, and that's this one here, goldensword.json. Now to edit this, you need a good code editor. The one I like to use is called Notepad++. It's a free download. I'll put the link right down there. I'll also put that link in the description, so go ahead and click on that link in the description and go right there and download that. Okay, let's go ahead and open this up in Notepad++, double click. There we are. Now this tells Minecraft which image to use for this particular item. Everything else is up here under handheld. So what we need to do is we need to copy the size information from this file and put it into this file here. So I'll go back to that handheld file, and that's right back here at sword, and it's right there. Let's open this up, and you'll see here what this does is it tells how to display the things in your hand, and there are 4 ways of displaying. There's a third person. This is when you see the character in the game. And first person is when you are the character and you're looking out into the world. All I care about is when it's in the hand, and I want that in my right hand right there. That's the sword swinging hand. So we need to have this little bit right here and copy this over. Now to do this, we need everything up here where it says display and clear down to this curly parentheses. So right click and copy. Let's now go right over here, golden sword. There's that close bracket, hit enter key right here. I'm gonna put it right at this location, right click and paste. There we go. Now we need to do a couple more things. First, whenever you change a bit in here, you're going from one thing to another, you put a comma in. Let's have a comma right here. There's a comma right here after this line, a comma after that line. And we don't need a comma down here because there's nothing after this. I'll get rid of this comma. We are going from this thing here to our display thing. So you need a comma right there. And these are always in pairs. And so it's kind of red and it's right up here. That's one pair. There's one more just outside and that's right here. So I need to copy that one down here. All you need to do is really to come in down here, hit the enter key, and then type in that curly bracket just like that. There we go. So that now matches that, and then this one now matches that one, and we're all set to go. Now this has to be exactly like this, so make sure you look at this very carefully, take a screenshot, whatever you have to do. It has to match this exactly. If you're missing one of these things, or you're missing a comma or anything that's small, it's not going to work. Now in here, there are 2 things we care about. Scale is our main one for making the sword bigger, and translation, this is the position inside of the hand. So we'll be doing the scale first. We'll take a look at this one. Now everything is the same size in the game. As you can see, they all have that exact same size. I want the sword bigger, so let's change this 0.85. Let's back up 2.5. Now the sword is diagonal in the hand, so we have to do both of these. This is the width, this is the height. These need to match for this to work. Okay, this is how thick the sword is. When you make the sword bigger, the thickness looks kind of funny. So I'll make this just a little bit smaller, and I'll make that a 5 instead of an 8.5. Okay, our scale is now done. It's not going to be in the right place in the hand, but I want you to see this first. So we'll first do it this way, take a look at it. We'll then come back and we'll do the position by changing the translation up here as our second pass on this. Let's go ahead and choose save. That's now done. I can get this out of the way. We can now make our resource pack. Now, normally I zip my resource packs up. It just keeps things nice and clean and the game loads faster. But if you're testing, you don't have to do that. You can put it into a non-zip folder while you're testing. We're all set to go. So go up here to new folder. I'm going to call this one Giant Sword. And I'll call it 3, Giant Sword 3. I just want to copy my stuff in here. So assets, hold the control key down, pack MC Meta, pack PNG, right drag those over here into this folder and copy. There it goes. Let's now put this into the game. For that, let's go back here to the Minecraft launcher. Go up here to our current version. Click on that folder right there. Brings back up that Minecraft folder. Scroll down just a little ways here to Resource Packs. Go inside Resource Packs. And in here, I'll bring back up our working folder. There we go. Let's just drag it over here like that. And here it is. It's now inside our Resource Packs. Okay, let's just get this out of the way. I'll leave that open, get that out of the way. Let's now test this. Click on play. And we'll launch Minecraft and then activate that new resource pack. Let's come down here to options, go into options, go into resource packs, and left hand side, here's our Giant Sword 3 right there. Choose that, it's over here right hand side, choose done. Let that load in that new resource pack. Let's choose done again and go into our game. And that's my main world right here. Now as soon as this loads up, if anything looks weird, then there's a problem in that JSON file. Here's the Giant Sword. Notice I'm holding it in the wrong place. The sword is the size I want. It's our giant sword, just like that. That looks really good, but I'm holding it in the wrong place. So let's go back now and update that resource pack to fix that part of the scripting. So let's just back out of here, hit the escape key, and I'll save and quit. And I can leave this screen running. And back in assets, back in Minecraft, models, item, and let's open up our Golden Sword JSON file again. Here we go. Now this time we need to work with this translation section. Again, this is the position. Now the first one here, the 0, that is in and out from the body. You know, left to right on the body. That's fine as is. Forward and backwards in the hand. That's kind of where you're holding it, forwards and backwards. Now I've already played around with this and I found that the right number here for this one is 18.0. That pushes the sword forward so my hand is in the right location on that. This may be different if you're using a different sword. Try it a few times to get it just exactly right. Now the 0.5 here, up and down, up the arm or down towards the hand. Now on mine, it's too high up, actually up in the wrist because the sword's a lot bigger. I want to get this down into the hand. So the number I found that works for me on this one is -1 right there. So there we go. That's going to reposition the sword in the right place in my hand. Let's go ahead. We'll save that one. Close this down. That's done. And back to our folder again. Now I know that this one is correct because I've already done this. So I'll just do my zip at this point. So assets, control key, pack MC Meta, pack PNG. Go up to share, click on zip. I'm just going to call this one Giant Sword 4. Like that. And it's a zip file. This is now ready to go into the game. So I'll bring back up the launcher and go back into installations. And I'm only doing this just to get to this folder right here. It's just an easy way to get to this thing. Open this up, come down to resource packs right here. I'll bring back up our working folder. There it is. And I'll just drag our new zip file in here. There we go, it's all set to go. Okay, we can now get this stuff out of the way and I'll bring the game back up again. There we go. Let's go into options and resource packs. So I'll deactivate our Giant Sword 3. Let's now activate our Giant Sword 4. It's a zip file, you can see that right there. Bring that in, there it is. Choose done. That loads in that new resource pack. Choose done again. Back into our game, main world, and this now should be correct at this point. And there we go, Giant Sword, and it's holding it in the right spot on the hand. Hi, I'm George, and I'll be showing you how to make an animated texture here inside of Minecraft. We'll be doing that animated sword right there. Let's get a real nice close view in it. There we are. This is actually pretty easy once you understand the process, and you can then animate any texture that you want to animate. For this, let's switch over to the desktop, and we'll get to work on this. Alright, the first thing we'll need are some files in here, and I'll show you where to get those in just a second. I already have mine in here. Now the pack PNG file, I made this myself. This is simply a square image, and I named it pack.png. That's all you have to do. The game comes with one that's just kind of a dirt block, pretty boring. You can make your own. In the game, it's 128 by 128. I have mine here at 256 by 256. Gives me a little bit more detail. That's fine. Over here is the pack.mc meta file. I'll show you where to get this in just a second. And then we have a folder in here that has the images for our textures, and that's right in here. Okay, let me show you where you can get all this stuff. First thing, just bring up the launcher for Minecraft. Let me bring that up. Okay, here's the launcher. Now go up here where it says installations, and then find the version that you're playing. It should be the top one on your list. And where it says the play, go just to the right of that. There's this little icon here, looks like a folder. Click on that, and that takes you right to the right folder here inside of your hard drive. Let's get this out of the way. So here we are, there's our folder. Come down where it says versions, and that's right here. Open that up, and then find your version of Minecraft. Right now I'm in 1.16.5, and that's right here. Go inside of that folder, and then take the jar file, which is the top one. If you don't see the .jar, go up to the view menu, go over here where it says file name extensions, check that, and then you should see that .jar. Now just take it, I'm just going to right drag over here and choose copy. There it is. Okay, that's all we need this for right now. Let's just get that out of the way. Now in here, we need to open this thing up. If you have WinRAR, you can open up with that. If you have 7-zip, that works. If you don't have either of those, all you actually have to do is just to change the .jar to .zip. Just type over it like that, and then choose this. There we go, it's now a zip file. Now I'm going to right click on this, and I'll choose open in new window. So it's just sitting over here on the side. There we go. Now we're inside of the zip file. First off, we need to get our pack MC meta, and if you want to, the default pack.png. Now it's right here in this list. So I'm just going to scroll down. It's quite a ways down towards the bottom, way down here. Went just past it. Let me back up just a little bit here. There we go. There's the pack MC meta, and here's the pack PNG. Just copy those files over here into your working folder. Now your working folder can be anywhere you want. I just made a new folder on my hard drive. I called it Sword, and I'm putting everything inside of here. Again, anything you want, just make a new folder for that. I've already copied mine over. Of course, I made my own right there for the pack PNG, so that's all set to go. We can get this over here again and go back up to the top. We now need our graphics for this. Go inside of Assets, inside of Minecraft, inside of Textures right here, and then come down and go inside of Item right there. And in here, let me change the view on this to large icon so it's better layout. In here, find the one you want to work with. I'm doing the Iron Sword, so let's go ahead, we'll scroll down and find Iron Sword, and that's right there, ironsword.png. And you can just copy that over in here, just right drag and copy, and there's that Iron Sword PNG right here. This is the basis for everything. Okay, now beyond that, we need one more file. Go back here one step to Textures, go up into Block, and then set this to large icons again. Here we go. Now we need to have an animation MC meta file in here. So let's go ahead and we'll scroll down a little bit on this. See, here's one for Blast Furnace right there. Come down a bit further, find one. Okay, here's a nice campfire.png.mc meta. Just take this, right drag over here, and copy that. There we go. Okay, I'm done now with the zip file. We can just go ahead and close that down. Now, this needs to just be renamed the same as this file here. It's easy to do. Just select that name like that, right-click copy, go over here, and then in front of that .mc meta, leave that alone, right-click and paste. So the name of your file, your image, should be the same right up here, and then .mc meta after that. Now I'm opening this thing up inside of Notepad++. This is a free download. Let me show you that site here real fast. Here we go. Again, it's a free download. I'll put this link in the description as well, so you can just click on that to go right here. And then go to the download right there. And just grab the top one. This should be the newest release. Download that and install that. Again, it's a free download, and it's a great editor when you're doing some of these fancier things. Go ahead and we'll close that out. So that's what I'm using right here. Now, we don't actually need that for this particular video, but I will be doing more of these types of things in future videos. And for those videos, you're going to want to have Notepad++ for those. So go ahead and get it now so that you're all set to go. Just go ahead and open this thing up. Here we go. All this has, it just says animation right here, and it gives me the frame time. This is how fast the animation plays. Right now it's going to be playing 2 frames per second. So you can control how fast it plays just by changing that number right there. A higher number is going to change faster. A lower number is going to change slower. Okay, there we go. That's all that we need on this one. Now we then need to set up our assets folder. So make a new folder named assets like I have right here. Open that up, and that's the new folder button right there. Make a new folder in here called Minecraft. Go inside of this. Make a new folder called textures. Inside of that, a new folder called item. This is exactly the same location that we took that image out of. And in here, we'll be building the actual stuff right in here. So all you need to do is just to take your iron sword here and the iron sword PNG MC Meta and copy those into that other folder. So already inside here, and there we go. So everything is inside this folder. Now I have 3 versions in here just to show you these inside of paint.net. We'll be looking at that in just a second. This is the actual working file right there, ironsword.png, and then there is that MC Meta, ironsword.png.mc Meta. Okay, let's now open up paint.net. Let me first show you where I can get paint.net. This is also a free download. Let me bring that up. This is at getpaint.net. You can see it right there. Again, I'll put this inside of the description so you can click on that and go right here. Go to the download page, and in the download page, scroll down. You want the second one right down here where it says download now.pdn. This is the free one. Let's get that out of the way. All right, I'll go ahead and open these things up inside of paint.net, and I'll walk you through what I did to build this file right here. Okay, we're here inside of paint.net, and there's the original iron sword image right there. Now, first thing you need to do, this is really small. You need to make this just a bit bigger. I just went up doubling the size. And to do that, go up here to Image, come down to Resize. Right here where it says 16 by 16, just make that 32 by 32. Choose OK, and that makes it twice as big. Now simply make your new sword right on top of this. Normally I'll put in a new layer above this, like that, new layer button. I'll make my new sword on top, right there so it's the right size, and then I'll simply hide that background layer and then work with the new sword. Okay, let me show you that one. That's right here. So I made this exactly like that. I just deleted that one layer. I no longer needed that. Now on this one, I'm going to zoom in a bit here. There's one little tricky thing on this I wanted to show you, and that's that I have transparency in here. See that transparency in there? So the white middle, this is solid. The next line right there, it's a blue. That is at 80% solid or 80% opacity. The next one is at 60% opacity, and the outside one here is at 40% opacity. Same thing on the other side, so it goes more transparent as it goes down towards the outside. Okay, easy to do, and that's all I did there. Let's now just back out of that a little bit. Now, once we have your sword made, to get the multiple colors in here, we need to make this image a lot taller. It'll look like this when we're finished. There we go. So to do that, I'm just gonna make this thing 6 times as tall as this. So let's go up here to Image, come down to Canvas Size right there, and then change the height up here to 192. And down here where it says Anchor, set that at the very bottom, right down there. And then choose OK. And if I scroll down, you can see there's the image at the bottom. And here's the whole line of that file. Let me just back out just a little bit here so you can see the whole thing. There we go. Now I need to get rid of this white stuff in here. So I'll just grab the selection tool up here. Make sure you're on Replace, and then I'll just drag a selection down right down to the top of that bottom section right there. Hit the delete key, and now I have transparency in the background. Let's now zoom in a little bit here so you can see this a bit better. Right there, this looks pretty good. And then going back to that selection tool, come down to the bottom left-hand corner, and I'll pull the selection up like this just to the top of that sword right here. And then let's do an Edit, Copy, and then click inside to deselect, and then Edit, Paste. And with the Move tool right here, I can now pull that straight up just above your previous one. So it's right there overlapping, and right there, it's just above that. So now go up just a little bit in here. This is still selected. So Edit, Copy, and then Edit, Paste, and pull that straight above. There we go. And then just do that 3 more times, and you'll have a line of swords clear to the top of this file. Now to change the color, all you have to do is come in here, select one of these, same tool again, and just click outside here, and it'll pull a section right around this middle sword right here, and go up to Adjustments, come down to Hue Saturation, and now I can change the color of this sword to anything I want. So we pull this slider control like that, and I can find any color I want. Let's go kind of a darkish blue here. I'll get a bit more saturation on that, like right around here someplace. There we go, and that's now a dark color. Choose OK. Same trick, click in here just to deselect that. Come down to our bottom one, and again I'll pull a selection just around the sword like that. Same thing again, Adjustments, Hue Saturation, And this time, let's just pull this clear to the right side over here, a bit more saturation, get nice red in there, and choose OK, and then deselect. So we now have 3 of those colored swords, and again, just do the exact same thing for 3 more above here, give them different colors, and then we're all set for that final file. So what I have over here, so that's 6 of these are stacked, and they change colors all the way down. So the width is the same as the original, and then we just have 6 of those stacked up like that, giving us that nice multicolored look in here. We're now ready to go ahead and make this as an animation. That's all you have to do. Now, inside of Minecraft, it considers each one of these parts up here as one frame of the animation. This is frame 0, what I always calls the first frame 0, and it starts at the top. So that's frame 0, and then this one right here would be frame 1. Next one down here is going to be frame 2, and so forth, clear down to the bottom. You can make as many frames as you want to make this as smooth as you want. Usually smaller files and fewer frames is better for Minecraft. Minecraft likes small files. Okay, so that's all there is to making the actual image to make our animation. Let's now go back to our working folder and take a look at that. Let me just delete the ones that we don't need. That's that one and that one. Those are the examples. So here you go. There is our animated image. And this is the MC Meta that runs that animation. You need both of these in this folder. Okay, now back to the working folder right here. It says sword. I don't need this, I don't need that, and I don't need this any longer. So I'm going to just delete those things. Those are the working files. There we go. You need these. You need that assets folder. You need your pack.mc meta, which we saw how to get that, and you need something for your pack.png if you want to. Let's now select these, go up to share, click on zip, and let's give this one a name. We'll call this one Animated Swords 2. There we go. Okay, we now need to get this over into the game. So let's bring that launcher back up again. There we are, back to the same location in here. Same thing. Go back over here to that folder right there, click on that. That brings up the folder in here. Come down where it says resource packs, open that up, and you want to copy or drag your zip file over into here. Let's get the launcher out of the way. So we have that right there. And here's our zip. I'm just going to drag it in like that. There we go. That's all set. Okay. And we're back to the launcher again. Okay, back to a play. We can now go ahead and play this. I'm going to skip through this bit here where it just loads in the game. Once the game is loaded in, we'll then activate that resource pack. Okay, we're here at the title screen. Click on Options and Resource Packs. On the left-hand side, you should find that there it is, Animated Swords 2. Click on that. Comes over here to the right-hand side. This has now been installed in the game. Just get this out of the way. There we go. Okay, come down, click on Done. This will then take us into the game, and we should see that animated sword. Click on Done again. Single player, there's my main world right there. And this will load in real fast. And there we go. There's our nice animated sword. It's that easy to do. If you have any problems at all, just leave me a comment. I try to answer every single comment, so I'll be there to help you get this working out for you inside of your resource pack. Make sure you hit like, click on share, and subscribe to my channel. I'll be doing a lot more of these videos as we get into doing some fancier stuff with the JSON files and some programming and things as we move further forward this year. Okay, and I'll see you next time.